Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Richard. As Richard touched upon, I want to talk about how the e-commerce and retail industry has changed because of COVID. Um, Being very honest here, I'm not going to go into specifics. The reason being, actually, there's a lot of executives that have signed up here. There is actually a lot of people that are in decision-making positions, sorry. And with that, you actually have to have the overarching understanding of what has actually happened. And one thing that we can say happened very easily is this bearded man has become a little bit more of a Boris Johnson lookalike, but let's be honest, that's not the important part for today. So if we actually go into what has changed, graphs are great, aren't they, really? Look at them and you think to yourself, no points to the person who guesses when COVID kicked in. But that part doesn't actually interest me. The real interesting point is, look what happened in 2006 till 2019. There has been a steady growth. And the reason that is because online sales have been growing. COVID hasn't been a reaction. It's actually been an acceleration of 5 years, probably of what's going to happen in 5 years. And with that, consumer demand has sped up by 5 years. And that is something really to kind of understand, that COVID's no reaction, it's an acceleration. And with that, consumer demand and understanding has accelerated. And with that understanding, you can kind of already assume and that this isn't going to stop. So even looking at this graph, the graph in front of you is people searching online shopping in the UK. Again, we're in a good industry when we're talking about e-commerce, because not many industries had that huge spike because of lockdown. You go into something like the real estate industry, you can swap that upside down and go, there was a huge drop in kind of interest and traffic. But the really interesting point, the point to actually really emphasize here, is the double here. Before COVID, you had X amount of people searching. Post that actual first lockdown, this is the summer when things were open, when actually, yes, there were restrictions, but people were able to go outside, and people realized the convenience of buying online. And a lot of you out there will think to yourself, yeah, but it's convenience. But let's be honest, Jeff Bezos was the true winner here, because I can get my phone out now, I can buy batteries, a sauna, a chair, and I don't know, a teddy, all from one website, Amazon, get it delivered tomorrow. But I'm going to go into that a little bit further later. But that isn't just the case. And really, that understanding that online is convenience is a huge aspect. And how the consumers have changed is fundamental, really. And I'm going to try and summarize each area, because I appreciate that graphs aren't the sexiest to some people. So really, to go back to it, yeah, COVID is acceleration, not reaction. Convenience is the king in this, and we'll go into that a little bit later. Customer expectations will have changed, and the reason being is with all this power that they've seen with Amazon, albeit not every company we work with is an Amazon. Once you have the how do I put it? Once you understand what is possible, you expect it from everyone. If I want a Sunday delivery, I want a Sunday delivery. I expect that from everyone now, even if it isn't actually logistically possible. So there's those understandings. And actually, the internet usage has increased by 70%. And again, we can all say, of course it has. I've been at home on furlough watching Netflix. However you kind of have spent your time. But then there's also the second side of that story. There's the individuals who historically may not have used the internet as much, who've become a fay with the internet. And with that kind of that education process, they've realized how easy it is to buy online. So you've got a huge new audience that are willing to buy online because they realize how convenient it is. Because we say this quite a lot. Online is convenience, offline is about the experience. Though going to Canterbury, my town, getting a coffee, meeting friends, then shopping. I don't want that if I'm online shopping. I want to just buy something quickly. And circling back to that comment about Amazon, yes, is the winner, but it's not the only winner. These two graphs are huge, really. The first one, pre to lockdown, yep. Amazon was probably the entity that was monopolizing online sales. The percentage of that has actually gone down. What may be surprising to you, because we've all gone down our street and seen all those Amazon boxes outside people's houses looking to try and be recycled. But the other's the interesting point for us, because that other is your local online stores. And by local, I don't just mean John Smith down the road selling sausages. I mean UK based individuals that you want to support, because the internet has and is changing. 10 years ago, it was about you typing in cheapest socks. Now we know where to get the cheapest socks from. That's Amazon. Now we want the best, or we want to support the brands we like. And albeit you may not think of it, Amazon is your biggest competitor, because they, albeit you can sell through them, they're taking away your brand power and people want to buy into your brand. And because of that, you can see that huge growth in people supporting other entities. And this has really pushed that kind of local e-commerce. And again, by local e-commerce, I don't mean that bloke next door. It can be, but it's UK based. And that's because there's a real novelty to be able to support independent brands. And of course, we're the UK nation, that kind of that British spirit of supporting kind of ourselves when times are troubled. Even there was the war rhetoric initially when COVID kicked in, but that sort of rhetoric has allowed us to kind of say, actually, should we be giving money to Amazons, or should we be supporting local entities? And with that, we have seen a huge demand for things like that. So much so that you've seen Google and stuff jump on it, where Google have innovated completely how they use their Google My Business. And by that, I mean, what is Google My Business? You type your brand name into Google today, and on the left-hand side, you'll get your search results. On the right-hand side, you'll get opening times, your brand, your address. That's the Google My Business. Google have innovated that by allowing people to say, can I click and collect from that? What products do you offer? All these things have happened over the last year. And because they know, actually, Google makes money when consumers use it. So they're following consumer demand. We've even seen people like Anthony Joshua doing advertisement for Google because support local. It's something that is going to grow and is a really positive thing for us talking about our businesses. The negative thing is we have to understand is, first, will this continue? Hopefully I prove to you in a bit that it does. And second, what do the consumers expect? And that's something Tim and Justin will go into, and hopefully gives you some real understanding of that. But going back to the idea of, will people keep buying online? I think the simplistic answer is yes, they will do. Of course, online sales, online shopping, there's a huge range of products available, and you can't just say, yeah, it's going to completely grow aggressively in every aspect of that. As you can kind of see, tobacco, not growing a huge amount. Well, not looking to grow a huge amount. Why is that? I don't know. Maybe people like going to the corner store. But then furniture, huge growth in that. So it's understanding your business model and thinking to yourself, what percentage growth can I see? What can I forecast? Because a lot of the things in front of you now can have an online and offline store. And again, kind of circling back to what I said before, online is about convenience, offline's experience. So if people are buying offline, going to your store, how do you make that an experience, wanting them to kind of come into the door, making them actually want to visit you? But yeah, I think it's really understanding what industry you're in, what sort of growth potential is there. And there is growth potential, albeit what you saw in March, April, May last year, you may not see those online sales again for a while, because they will dip, because a novelty was going outside. We had to use services like this. But hopefully, if you're able to optimize, for lack of a better word, your online and offline stores, you should be seeing those numbers overall. And again, what does that actually mean? Purchasing habits aren't going away. We've already seen that people are still looking to buy online. You have that 70% internet usage increase, means you've got a huge amount of new consumers using it. And some industries are primed to continue to grow. Desks, by desk, probably because it's the first thing I saw in front of me, but desks, chairs, furniture. Why do I have to go to a store, pick one, then either try and skip out on the delivery cost by putting down my back seats in my car and getting delivered? Why can't I just look it online, get it delivered, look at it and send it back? it just makes that, like, back to that word convenience, so much easier. And you need to understand your kind of your business model to see the growth and the forecast aspect. But probably the third aspect actually is when will this growth happen? The positive things are the UK is seen as the most optimistic economy for recovery. There's a little bit kind of a grey area to that, because actually people over the age of 56 currently, how it says, have kind of quite openly said they're not looking to post-lockdown look to splurge their money. The people under 56 are. And this means right now we're getting to a point where the vaccines are being rolled out very quickly. People under age of 56 will be fully vaccinated. And with that, we should see people start purchasing, albeit that may not change your online sales. That will be changing your offline sales. And hopefully 1+1, you start seeing the real benefit of both entities working together. And the last part of my presentation, I've kind of broken it into 3 areas. The good news, always start positives. The compliment sandwich, you can see this as the good news. Yeah, I'm going to go over that. Middle part is the not so good news. Sorry. And the final part is predictions for the future. So the good news is here to say 92% of people say they'll continue to use online sales. So if you've got an online business or you're supporting them, that's brilliant to hear. Yes, you may see a bit of a drop, but it's something that will continue to grow and develop. Again, we've accelerated 5 years here. So there's a lot of catch up that we, as people who are helping online shops, also owning online shops, has a lot to do. And people are changing the way they shop. They don't want to support the faceless brands. They want to support local. They want to support the entities that have a purpose. Purpose is probably historically what you would have called a mission statement, but purpose is a mission statement on roids, and ethical, safety focused. But the caveat, this is after convenience. Make sure it's convenient for them in the sense of, can they order from you quickly? Because consumer expectations have grown very quick over the last year, and you need to be able to meet that. And despite decreased household income, optimization, I need another coffee. Optimism, I'm not going to say that word today, is high. So yeah, really positive. The not so good news. Yeah, I do need that drink. So the not so good news. So shock to loyalty, and you can see this as positive or negative. So 36% of consumers tried a new brand, and 73% of them continue to use that brand. The reason that is, you can look at it 2 ways. You can look at the positive thing of, actually, you may have lost, well, your competitors may have lost some of your clients, and you may have gained them, and they're going to stick with you. The other way around, you may have lost some clients and they may stay with your competitors. And the reason being is convenience, and they will stick that. But there is still the opportunity to gather new customers because of how you are fulfilling your customers' needs. And back to that, convenience is king. I say it's not so good news. It's not so good news because we have a lot of work to do to catch up with that 5-year growth period. And the final part, how things are changing. These are my predictions, and hopefully I can speak properly on this point. So Amazon is taking on the Royal Mail. It's already in America taken over as the lead delivery service. That is above the US delivery thing. And that is not an issue. It's an issue with you as a kind of a company, because actually it's not an issue as you can see it for Royal Mail, for us, naturally, but it is showing you the consumer demand. So Royal Mail has already said they're going to offer Sunday delivery, and that's because of how consumers have changed. Personalized marketing, a CMS, so something you upload your content and change your website to. This is changing. We did some research in the top companies in the Southeast, and actually they were using DXPs, and they're called digital experience platforms. Yep, sounds a little bit of a cringe thing, but it's a platform that allows you, the owner, to almost automate your website to meet the demands of a consumer. And that sounds very woolly, but as a quick example, if John Smith comes to your website, he'll see one version of a piece of content. If Jane Luddite came to your website, he'll see a different version of website content. And that is really to make it easier for a person with X experience. Third-party cookies are disappearing. Again, that means that the information that was available to us before is becoming privatized. I think that's good. However, it does mean your owned data is more important to you, because being able to access that huge amount of information you had before is gone. Is going. But because that own data, like email marketing, is almost as important as it was last year, but it will grow very quickly. And how we review data, I've skipped e-commerce growth because we've touched upon that a lot, but how data needs to change, that is probably the biggest thing, because we shouldn't now be highlighting channel profitability in the sense of we get a lot of money for email marketing. We should be focusing on the lifetime value of a customer, because really a customer may have come from Google and now is engaged for email marketing, or now starts going into your kind of store personally. With an EPOS system, you're able to link these together and understand the value of individuals that originally came from this campaign are a lot higher than from this campaign. And that allows you to be a lot smarter and a little bit more kind of coherent with your marketing strategy. And the final part is localizing experiences. And that is basically understanding that no, people don't want to engage with bigger brands. They want to engage with you as a company, because those faceless brands are losing love, because they've got the ultimate faceless brand. They've got Amazon. They want to engage in you. And that's something that will really change.